The story from the project, innocent black man. Let me be clear. Damn, man. The story from the project, innocent black man.
What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Small Account Challenge. Today is day number 112. Of course, you know yesterday was a slow day. All we got was 1%, but I was excited because somebody in the comments said 1% may seem small now, but that bad boy will soon start to grow. And I was excited because I've been saying that for the longest. All we need is keep hitting the profit target, 2 and 3%, and you will see where this account going to be in the not so distant future. Anyway, today we was able to pull out the profit target. Now I'm going to tell you exactly how we pulled it off. And today, midday market recap. All right, y'all, let's go over the trades from this morning. It was only 4 trades today. We was able to pull out the profit target. So once we got that, it's time to head out the door. Anyway, our first trade today was on SPY to the downside. Let's pull the charts up. All right, cool. First trade was at 9:36 and 6 seconds. This was a fast trade to the downside. Okay, the candle that opens up 9:25 and closes at 9:30, which starts the market, was a heavy red candle. So I wasn't gonna go against that. On the very next candle, we get a pop up, but not enough to push it through the moving average, and we continue selling off. Once this candle closes, the one that opens up 9:30 and closes at 9:35, I jumped in 9:36 on the next candle and rolled that bad boy down with the guardrails. It hit the guardrail, take profit, and we was out the door. That was the first trade. You know, when your first trade is green, you're sitting in the driver's seat, so the next trade can go for you or against you. At least you know you're losing money. You're losing house money, not your money. All right, cool. Here we go. The next trade was on SPY to the downside. This one we lost on at 9:43. All right, cool. The candle that opens up at 9:35, closes at 9:40. That was our first trade. We won on that one. That one was a red candle. On the very next candle, I thought we would continue to get the downward pressure. We did, but you can see them two, that lower and upper wick. When you got the guardrails on, those are not your best friend. Why? Because them things are pop up or pop down and hit your guardrail and pop you out. And that's how we lost on that trade. We was in that bad boy from 9:43. And before the candle closed, the candle closed at 9:45. And we were still good. But it started to push down some more on that upward pressure in that next candle and popped us out on the guardrail. We got out at 9:47 on that little upper wick right there. That little wick was enough to knock us out, and I was kind of tight about that, so we gave back the profits from the first trade. But it's cool though. On the very next trade, we got it all back and then some. Here we go. SPY to the downside at 9:48. All right, cool. The candle that opens up at 9:40 closes at 9:45. I already mentioned that the one with the upper and lower wick, that one was a sort of a candle of indecision, sort of a doji somewhat. The very next candle, we get that downward pressure. After we lose on this candle, on the next trade, I saw the pressure was strong. I immediately jumped right back in. Okay, at 9:49, right before the candle closed, I add a contract. Now, this is when it gets tricky because it starts to come up against us. But I add another contract at 9:55. And it's on this contract, on this downward pressure, this lower wick right here, we sell our position and make all the gains back with the full contracts and then some. So now we sitting pretty on the day, about 1% on the day. I'm like, all right, cool. Can we finish it up nicely? And it was on the next trade on Meta to the downside we won on. The last trade of the day. Let's pull it up. All right, cool. At 10:03. Meta has some energy this morning. You can see it there. The candle that closes at 9:55 opens up 9:50. That one was a green candle, pushed through the moving average. I like, all right, cool. We got some energy. On the very next candle, the one that opens up at 55, closes at 10 o'clock, we get a upper wick, which means the bulls tried to push it, but the bear said, not right now. I was watching that. That was my indication. That upper wick right there was indication. The bear said, not right now. So it's time to head back down. We jumped in on the next candle at 10:05. 10:03 because this candle opens up at 10 o'clock. I had to make sure we had resolution. We got it. I jumped in, held that bad boy for 1 minute, and that was it. We got out, and that's how we finished the day. You can see it there. Hit the profit target as we make our way through the $2,100 level. Of course, you know most of y'all been with me when this account was back. I don't know, maybe $300 or something like that. And now we are sitting here, but we have a long way to go. So continue to, like I said, you got to take a time out and restack your refreshments or whatever, and get back in the journey with me. That's all right, because we have a long way in front of us. But where we gonna end up by the end of the year, who knows? But averaging that 1, 2, or 3%, the account is gonna look nothing like what it started with. We just gotta continue to win more than we lose and keep the losses tight. And the way we do that is with the guardrail, because you don't want to get to this level and come all the way back down to 700 because you let your emotions get the best of you. Let the guardrails. That's the purpose. I'm gonna be quick. That's the purpose of the guardrails, to take the decision out of your hands. Because emotionally, like I said, people can teach you how to day trade, teach you how to trade options. But I learned no one can teach you how to control your own emotions. That's you. And I realized I struggled with that years ago. It wasn't until I learned about OCO orders, where I can have the order already set going in, and all I gotta do is let things happen. And if it go in my favor, I can literally move my order up, so now I can walk away with green automatically. I said, I'm good with that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So anyway, that's how the day went. We'll be back at this tomorrow for day number 113. All right, y'all. Peace.